welcome to episode 46, Flosstube number 15 of All the Stitches. My name is Colleen and I'm coming to you from the Lakes region of New Hampshire in the United States. Just want to say a quick welcome to all my new subscribers. I appreciate you so much coming by and checking out my channel. I hope you like it and I hope you stay with us. We have a very nice little community here, and I'm happy you've joined us. I have so much to show you today. It is a Flosstube episode, so I have cross stitch, but I also have quilting, I have knitting, I have some wool applique, and we're going to pick the winner of the Book of Days giveaway. What else? We're going to also do a winter pattern parade. So because there's so much, I'm just going to go right to it. So I'm going to start with my first fully finished object, and that you've seen it finished, but it is autumn. I've framed it since last time you saw it. This is from the Cricut collection. I got the frame from SignedandNumbered, which is an Etsy company that I've used many times before, and I really love their product, and they're a great company to work with. It's a wood frame. They provide the backing that I laced the piece on, and they provide the backing for the frame. If you're looking for custom size frame, they also have ready-made size, but if you're looking for custom size frame, I really recommend SignedandNumbered. My other fully finished cross stitch is something kind of interesting. Remember I showed you the Blackbird freebie that I found on Pinterest, the chart? Well, I finished it, but I found the perfect frame. And before I show you, I'm going to tell you a little story about it. What I was hoping to do is find a frame and find something like the sheet music to the song Blackbird by Lennon and McCartney. And I thought if I had a copy of that and I could put on as a backdrop to this piece, Blackbird piece, I think that would be great. So I went searching on eBay and on Etsy and anywhere you could find, and I didn't find anything I could use. Before I go on from there, I just want to mention I didn't have the designer's name of the Blackbird chart because it wasn't on Pinterest. But since then, I found who it is. And of course, right now, I don't recall who it is, but I'm going to put it up on the screen and with everything else in the description box below. So anyway, back to my story. As I searched for the lyrics to Blackbird on Etsy, this company came up. And their name is, and this company makes framed, I don't want to say prints, they're not prints. They take lyrics to songs and they must do it like a computerized font, and they print out the lyrics on linen, some sort of linen fabric. And then they frame them. And they're great for like a wedding gift or an anniversary gift if there's a special song. But when I saw that, I thought, how could I make that work for my Blackbird? So I was able to find the right size, choose the right size and style. And I came up with this. And I can't believe how fast this came once I ordered it. But here is my Blackbird stitched up, and I put it on that fabric, that black fabric backboard, and then this whole piece is just the lyrics typewritten over and over and over again. See, it's like a shadow box frame. The name of the company, again, I will put on the screen below and also in the description box. But I thought it was perfect for this. I'm really so excited about this piece. Now I'm going to, I think I finally figured out how to do a split screen. So I'm going to put in a split screen here what the piece looked like before I put the chart on it. And hopefully you can see better what the product is. But I think this is just really extra fun now, and an extra nice finish. My next fully finished object is not cross stitch, but it's wool applique, and that is Old Saint Nick from All Through the Night. It was a pattern for wool applique, which I stitched up. Very easy, very simple. And then I got a very simple little photo frame on Amazon that's sort of distressed looking, and I thought he looks very sweet in that frame. This was a December project that I worked on all through the month of December, and I got it finished, and I'm waiting for a frame. This is the vintage Christmas sampler by Lori Holt. And since the last time you saw it, I got all the buttons sewn on, and there were a zillion buttons on it. I did this on a 14 count Aida. It called for a 10 count, so I couldn't get quite all the buttons on that were in the chart, but I think it worked. I love this one. As I told you the last time, I just thought this was such a joyful thing to stitch in the month of December. I really enjoyed it. Before I get to my quilting whips, I'm going to show you my current quilting, or excuse me, I'm going to show you my current cross-stitch whips. This is one that I thought I was going to start early in December. Ugh. And I ended up, I had to wait for some fabric to come. And I ended up waiting for a week or so, which allowed me to get that vintage Christmas sampler done instead. But this is the, it's got needles in there. This is, all right. You're going to see the needles in the front. This is the Santa Stops Here by Brenda Gervais. And this is as far as I've gotten on it, which is pretty far because I have that humongous house done. If you're familiar with this project, you know I've made a couple little changes. The major change being the way the door is stitched. And I won't get into the details of what I changed, but I really am so happy with this now. And I did a lot of complaining about this in my last video because I had such trouble starting it, and I didn't like the cloth, and there were all kinds of problems. And I eventually worked it all out. I fixed the roof. Remember, my roofs were my chimneys were asymmetrical, and I managed to fix that without as much a big deal as I thought it would be. So I'm very happy with this, and really the worst of it is over with that house. And but let me tell you a little story about it, because I always seem to have a story. And of course I have a dangling needle here. A week or so ago, I decided I would press it because I was using a frame that really gave it a lot of creasing, a hoop that was giving it a lot of creasing. So I brought it up and I pressed it. But I used a product to press it. Do you see that? The fabric is Winter Brew. Winter Brew does not have that staining look, you know, to it. Now it does. And I'll tell you why. I use this spray. Now I've used that spray on fabric, quilting fabric. I've used it on Aida. I've used it on anything that's hard to press. And before you say you should always test it out, please know I tested it out. Not only did I test it out, but when I initially started this project, the fabric had a lot of creases in it. So I actually used it on this fabric to press it. So why this happened this time and not the first time, I have no idea. I read some things online, and it could be that the iron was too hot and maybe it burned the liquid, whatever is in it. Honestly, I'll never use it again. And that's too bad because it really does work. But that's just a word of warning. Well, when that happened, I have to say, I was beside myself because I thought the whole piece was lost and I'd have to start over again. The house was about 2/3 done, and I didn't want to start that again. As much as I enjoyed stitching it, I didn't want to do it twice. But what I realized when I really looked at it and calmed down is that this will be under the frame because I'll just frame it close, you know. And the parts on this side, you probably can't see it very well at all, if at all. But the parts that are stained on this side will be covered because down here, I really should have planned this out better. Down here, there's a big tree, there's a Santa, snowman, so it's going to cover this whole area. There's a little bit of splotching up here, but there'll be the little reindeer and little trees and things like that. So it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, I was completely panic-stricken, as you can imagine. But I just tell you that because let it be a lesson to not only to me, but to you as well. I don't think I'd ever use that product again. And like I say, I don't know why it reacted that way this time, but not before. So don't trust it. And don't sue me. Okay, so my other work in progress was something I was going to start January 1st. No, I ended up, I was so intrigued. I loved doing that house. I wanted to get that house done. So I kept stitching right through the first full week in January. So then I decided I really needed to move on to the project I was going to work on in January and get back to it. That is the Winter Sampler by KrazeeDesignsForYou. And I love working on this. And when I got back to it, oh, it felt like such a slog. It just won't go. It won't move. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot. I know it's not something I'm going to get done really quickly, and that's okay. I just need to get my head around that. But I do love that border, and I'm trying to get this much of the border done before I move on to the inside. I think I play these games with myself. There's times that I do the border first, but I think this border is too big. It would really bog me down. So the game I play with myself is if I get a certain amount of the border done on both sides, then I can fill it with everything that's in the middle in that section. And then I'll go on to more border. Do you play those games too with yourself? But whatever we have to do. I do love this. It's really coming out nicely. And this is a piece of 32 count vintage country mocha. The Santa stops here is stitched on 28 count winter brew. I found I couldn't see the 36 count very well, and it was the only other piece of winter brew I could find. So as I've complained before, it's a little bit gauzy and lightweight, but I think I can live with it. So now what I'm going to do is, before I continue with a little more cross-stitch content, I'm going to show you my quilts. I've finished 3 quilts in the last few months, and I've shown you just little bits and pieces of them, but I'm going to do more now. So what I'm going to do is I filmed some quick videos of myself holding the quilts up, so you'll be able to see the whole thing. But while I talk about them, I'm going to insert those, but while I talk about them, I'm just going to hold up a piece of it. So this is my Circle a Day quilt. And let me tell you a little bit of the story here. This was started in 2016 when a friend of mine decided it would be a great idea to applique a circle a day. So this is all hand applique. So she was going to applique a circle a day for a year. and in the end, see what she had. You know, a giant quilt, probably. So there were 4 of us, I believe, that thought, oh, that's a great idea. I'll do that too. So I did it, you know, circle a day I probably did for about 2 weeks, if that. And then said, well, I think mine needs to be a circle a month. And then from there, it became a circle whenever I felt like it. And then it was years later, you know, maybe I'll finish it. So, so again, remember I started in 2016. So 2 friends finished the big quilt. I came across the circles completed and partially sewn and prepped for sewing. I came across them late in 2023 and decided it is time to finish these. So I, all in all, had 80 circles and decided to just finish the applique on the ones that I had already cut out and basted and ready to go. A lot of it was just a lot of memories of things. Like there's a fabric here that came from New York, and that was from a trip to New York. Here is when my Red Sox won the World Series in 2018. I have some fabric here from, this is a Halloween fabric. This is sort of a summery picnic pattern. A lot of just memories. There were my dog's birthday. That was George and Gracie's birthday. I love baseball, so there I had the baseball fabric. There's like a seashore fabric. There's fall. There's, oh, on and on. But a lot of memories associated with this. And then I sort of brought it up to date. And with the world being what it is, I have a heart here for Ukraine. I have one here for Israel. And this was an anniversary of the Boston Marathon bombings. So this I threw in earlier, and this was that New York World Trade Center fabric before 9/11. So there's a lot in this quilt, and what I'm going to do is put up my video now, and so you can see the whole thing as it is and see the size and all. Oh, I should mention my earth circle. I decided at the last minute I took out 4 fabrics and used this fabric instead to put a big earth in there because I thought our earth needed all the help it could get. And this is the Earth Views line from the Earth Views line from the quilting astronaut, whose name I can't recall, but it will be down below. And that was my way of bringing this quilt beginning in 2016 up to today. So here I'm inserting the video. Okay, my next quilt is Pumpkin Patch. And this was a free pattern on the Michael Miller Fabric website. On the pattern, it was a 9, I think a 9.5 inch square. I decided to make it smaller and make it a 7 inch square. And I decided, upside down pumpkins. And I decided to hand applique the pumpkins rather than piece them. But you get the idea. Sometimes you can just look at a picture or something and then make it your way. It was quilted, they're all quilted by the Applique in Effingham, New Hampshire. And she does a wonderful job. I love the texture she put on the pumpkins. So now I'm going to insert my full view of the pumpkin patch quilt. My next and final quilt finish, well, not quite finished because I have to make the binding. But this is from a line of fabric from Tilda called Bloomville. I got this fabric as a jelly roll set So there was a ton of fabric. I was able to make a pretty good sized quilt, and then decided that they're so busy. They're gorgeous prints, but they're so busy they needed to be quieted down with the white or some sort of solid. That's what I did with it. So now I was left with some leftover scraps. They're not really scraps, they're just leftovers from the jelly roll. And I have enough of them that I can piece together and make the binding. So I'm just, I need time to do that. But that's the goal with that. But here's my video, which I did notice was I cut off the bottom row. So what you see on the video, there's an extra row. Maybe I'll take a still photo so you can see it. But here's the video of my Tilda quilt. Okay, kids, I think what I'm going to do, I'll let you know what I'm going to plan to do now, so you can plan accordingly. First, I'm going to pull the name for the Book of Days drawing. Then I have more finishes to show you. I'm going to do a very quick knitting segment because remember I started the Christmas hashtag Christmas Sock Along 2023 when I wanted to try to knit up as much of my Christmas yarn as I could through the year. So I have an update on that, and I won't go into too much detail with that if you want to hang around because there is more cross-stitch content. So then that, and then I'm going to show you the Colorado Cross Stitcher 12 Days of Christmas Stitchy box that I got and opened through the month of December, and it is wonderful. And then I'm going to have the Winter Pattern Parade, and that is my collection of winter cross stitch charts that I love and will someday get to. Hopefully. I'm going to start with giving away the enhanced copy of the Book of Days. Now this is the one that was enhanced by Sherry of Colorado Cross Stitcher. She put it in a binding that's easy open. She put some extra pages in there, and I am going to draw that name now. And thank you so much for entering. I appreciate everyone's comment. I put it in this wheel. Stop with the ads already. Okay, so here it is. Here are all the names from everyone who used the word calendar was entered in this drawing. I want to show you how this works so you're going to hear it, I think. Okay. I'm going to give it a spin. Oh, here we go. The winner is Lori Koch, 8010. Lori, that is your YouTube name, and I know who you are because you've we've commented back and forth before. So Lori Koch, 8010. Congratulations. I have an email address for all the stitches, and you can send to that address your mailing address. So the email address is allthestitches21@yahoo.com. Yahoo, not Gmail. I've said that before. I've said it wrong before. So Lori, congratulations, and let me hear from you, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, or I'll get it out to you just as soon as I can, which will be right after I hear from you. I'm going to take a segue into knitting. So this is, I told myself I would knit up all of the Christmas yarn that I could. How did I do? I'm not going to put them on sock blockers because we will be here all day. I only have one set of sock blockers. And I'm also not going to go through all the yarns, but I'll either put them on the screen or down below. But I will tell you this one. It's called Peppermint Mocha because, oh, I love that name for this This is a Freckled Whimsy yarn, and it's peppermint mocha. And this isn't going to work. It's a DK yarn. So that's pair number 1. Pair number 2. I can tell you it's Fiber Nymph Dye Works. Can't remember whose yarn this is. I'll put it below. That's pair number 3. Pair number 4 is West Yorkshire Spinners, one of their Christmas yarns. I love the way this stripes. And I did a magic heel pattern from someone whose name I can't remember. I'll put it below. Love this yarn. I love that how it's sort of opposite, you know, the toes and heels, you use an opposite color. That was really fun. I enjoyed that. And this is another West Yorkshire Spinners. Another really pretty stripe. Now, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I hurt my hand. So I have another pair started. I didn't even bring them over because there's a tiny bit started. And it was actually, I started to do a pattern in it. So it was fun because I was getting a little tired of vanilla socks. But I did these all, I did, what, 6 pairs? 6 pair of socks in 6 months. In the 7th month, that's when I hurt my hand. And I have to tell you, overuse and repetitive motion is not a good thing for your hands. I would have to say that I almost always use a 9-inch circular needle for my socks. I just think it's more convenient. But it is kind of hard on your hands because you're working on this little thing. And I really think I did myself in between that. I was also working on a top-down sweater, and I was going, at the point I was going round and around and around on the bottom part of the sweater. And I started a blanket, you know, and on top of all the socks. So by July, I couldn't knit anymore. And my hand has only started to feel better. So I'm really tempted to jump in again, but I just, I have to give it a rest. Knitting, I just read somewhere that knitting uses 32 muscles. That's a lot of overuse and abuse. This is my episode about warnings, right? So warnings about what you use to spray your fabric with, warnings about knitting too much. Anyway, I have another pair on the needles. That would be 7, but it's too late because it was what I could knit in 2023. But I have to say I made a big dent in my bag of knitting yarn, and really, I really feel good about what I've done. I was starting to think that maybe I could get another pair done. So, and I have all this wonderful sock yarn, and it just drives me crazy because I can't get to it. But so I did something, and I've done this before, but I sent out a bunch of yarn to another company whose name I'll put below that does cranks sock tubes. And one of the ones I sent was this. It was one of my Christmas yarns. So this is another Freckled Whimsy. You saw the first one, Peppermint Mocha. And this is also Peppermint Mocha, but it's in the fingering weight instead of DK weight. So I have to add the heels and toes and a cuff to these. And I'm thinking that it might be a good way for me to try restarting knitting by doing these. I thought I'd do it before the end of the year, but I didn't get to it. So I know we can't count this as number 7, but we can pretend, can't we? Now I'm going to segue over to my Colorado Cross Stitch 12 Days of Christmas box. Did not come in this box. I had this box. But I just want to quickly go through it. And really the point is to tell you, if you hesitate to do one of these boxes, and it's not an inexpensive thing to do, so I get that. I can really recommend Sherry's Colorado Cross Stitcher because it's very high quality stuff. And I did it last year, I did it this year, both years, same terrific box. So I'm just going to show you quickly. This is, I'm not even sure what this is, maybe a little ornament or something. It says Noel, it's made of wood. I told you I was going to do it quick. These are little buttons. This is a lovely chunk of beeswax in here. I won't open it. This is a, I think this is a thread hopper. Yeah, thread hopper, so you can find your place. This is something called the Stitching Gnome. Oh, that's the name of the company on Etsy. And it's a, you can hang your scissors on it, I believe. I'm going to make a little noise here. I'm not quite sure how to use it, but it looks like something you can hang. It has a magnet on the back, but you can hang. I'm not sure what to do with this. Does anyone know what to do with this? Because I'm not sure what you're, oh, I guess you're hooking your scissors. So you can hook your scissors on this, and it has a magnet for your needle. So it's some sort of combination of that. I'm sorry to the Stitching Gnome. I'm not quite sure how to use it. I need to look that up. There is a 10 needle sliding magnetic case. And there are some of Sherry's lovely patterns. Grow, cozy, relax, and create. I love them all. There was also a lovely, I don't know, project bag zipper pull or scissor fob. Oops, stop moving. And a lovely pair of scissors. Oh, there's also a another magnetic needle binder. And a lovely pair of scissors. A really nice pair of scissors. If I had my glasses, I could see what the brand is. I can't see it. But see what I mean? It's really a nice group of things, and it was very exciting to open them all up through the month of December. I did it, you could do it anytime, but I did it the first 12 days of December, only because I couldn't wait for the end of December to do it. And again, I'm not going to go into too much detail. Hopefully you can see what it is, and I will put all the information below. This is something I hope to start this winter. It's because I love the autumn version so much. This is the Cricut Collection's winter. Here is the January wordplay by Brenda Gervais. Here is Give Greatly by Silver Creek Samplers. The Needleworker from Cottage Garden. It's kind of winter, I guess. It is a snowman. This is one I love and I really want to get to. I think of it as winter. It's the reindeer from Cottage Garden. I have that kitted up and ready. This is one of those that I've wanted to do for 2 years. I think I really need to get this done. This is Heartstring Samplers, Baby It's Cold Outside. I know so many of you have stitched this. It's really a great thing, a great stitch. This is another cutie. This is Little House Needlework, Bare Tree Forest. Sorry about the rumpling. I'm trying to keep things together. I have this. I have some others too. I have Lizzie Kate's Baby It's Cold Outside. SweetHooliganDesigns, Warm Winter Wishes. Lori Holt's Snowballs for Sale. Heart in Hand, Perfect Snowman. I love that. I'm going to try to edit out as much of the crinkling as I can. I have a set of, I'm not sure I have them all, but I have a whole set of the Frosty Forest by Country Cottage Needleworks. A whole bunch of them. And then I have, yikes, then I have, oh boy, I have no room anymore. I have from Ink Circles, Spring Snow. Erica Michaels, Winter Berries. Lila Studio, Season's Blessing. I guess there's fall and winter there. From Brenda Gervais, Joy and Good Cheer. Little House Needleworks, Snow White. Love this one. This is a PDF I have from Stitches Through the Year, Silent Night. That's beautiful. Winter White Woodlands from Blue Ribbon Designs. So hard to see. I'm not going to show you anything I've stitched. January 9 patch from Primrose Cottage Stitches. Little House Needleworks, Pine Tree Inn. That's so cute. From RETM, Let It Snow. It's a Quaker. From Bent Creek, I have Winter Row. From Madame Chantilly, Winter Hut Cocoa. Look how cute. And from Shepherd's Bush, I have the Winter Bag. I have the bag too, I'm not enthralled with stitching on the mesh bag. They should make them so that you can open them all the way up and then stitch flat. But who am I to say? Okay, last few. Parson Brown from Not Forgotten Farms. These are all snowmen in this file. Mr. Marshmallow from With Thy Needle and Thread. Winter, or When I Think of Winter from Puntini. I don't know why I don't have more of their charts, because I love them all. Here's another Lizzie Kate, Frosty and Friends. I think there were a whole set of them, all dressed up and ready for snow. Jardin Privé, Patchwork Hiver. Primrose Cottage Stitches, No Place Like Home. Another favorite, Rudolph and Friends from Brenda Gervais. I'd love to do that. Another, The Shepherd from Cottage Garden. That sheep, of course, does my heart good for my all my wool. Hands-on Design Block Party. This is Snow. From Twin Peak Primitives, Winter Gathering. From Belinda Carl's Nace, Flurry Friends. And an older one from Sandra Sullivan, Homespun Elegance, called Stack of Snowmen. that is it. I don't think that was as much as my autumn patterns, was it? Or Christmas? Maybe it was. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed all that. And by the way, Happy New Year. I hope everyone has had a good start to their new year. I hope it's a good one for all of us, each and every one of us. And until next time, I hope all of your stitching brings joy.